If you have been applying for jobs in the UK without getting interviews or invite for interviews, that could be because your CV is not selling you properly. Which also means that you've not taken time to put up a good standard CV that is capable of putting you forward as the best candidate, despite your many skills. Many people have made purchases of items and products because of how beautiful they look in advertisement. That is to tell you how powerful advert is. And your CV is your own advertisement. Your CV is your own way of advertising yourself to your potential employers who are looking for nothing but the best candidate. And you may have all the skills, but if you are not able to put them well in a CV, in a format that will make it easy for you to be picked out, then the chances of getting that job become slim. Now, a lot of my viewers have understood that, and that is why I have received a lot of requests for a video on how to create a UK standard CV. And that is what I'll be doing for you today. Before I do that, I want to first of all welcome you to my channel. My name is Samuel Dano, and this is Keeping It Real with Dano, where I share travel abroad opportunities for work and for studies. I bring to you the challenges faced by immigrants abroad and the realities of life abroad, so that when you're making your decision to travel abroad, you're making it based on first-hand information. If you're a returning subscriber, I want to thank you very much for subscribing and for coming back to watch this video. But if you are coming to this channel for the very first time and these are things that interest you, subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so that when I upload new content, you will be notified. I understand that depending on which country you're coming from, there are different standard formats for CVs. For instance, if you're Nigerian, your CV is expected to have your date of birth, your marital status, your gender, your state of origin, even down to your government of origin. But these informations are not needed when doing a UK standard CV. The only personal information that are needed from you is your name and how they can contact you. And optionally, but highly recommended, your LinkedIn profile if you have one. A UK standard CV has different sections. It has a little part that talks about that just gives the details. It has a summary of your career, which is followed by either your skills or your experience, depending on how you choose to arrange them. Some people prefer to bring in their skills immediately after their career profile or career summary, while others prefer to bring in their experience first and then their skills. I'm going to show you two different CVs which I have created as samples. One of them bring in the experience immediately after the career summary, while the other one bring it after the experience. Because of the first one, I'm going to take it in that format. The first is your details. The second is a summary of your career. Now, this section captures your career journey so far in one or two sentences. It could talk about how long you've been in the industry, what you have achieved so far, and the qualities that you have that have helped you achieve this goal, these things you have achieved in your career. In some cases, whatever you put there as the qualities has to reflect the qualities that have been looked out for in the job you're applying for. This is the time I will say to you, it is not recommended for you to use a generic CV for all applications, whether or not they are from the same sector. For example, someone who is looking for an IT project manager may be looking for something different from someone else who is looking for a project manager in a construction company. So even though they are all looking for project managers, the things they are looking for are different. That is why you are always encouraged to read the description of the job you are applying for. Read the person description, which talks about the type of person they're looking for, and use those information to create your CV. Now, after that, you have your skills. Depending on what you are applying for, there are jobs that require you to have some technical skills and some soft skills. So in the one I'll be showing you, I have a table that divides the technical and the soft skills. Again, this has to come also from the description of your job. After all, you are trying to let them know that you are the right person for the job, right? So whatever they're looking for, you need to have them. The next thing you have to look at you have to let them know is your experience, what you have done, where you have done them, and from what time to what time you have done them, and any achievement or milestones you have achieved while doing those jobs. You will see that in the samples I'll be showing you soon. After doing that, it will be now time for you to tell them where you got the knowledge that you are using to do all of this, right? So you talk about your educational achievement, educational background, or whatever you choose to call it. I'll simply call it education. If you have your master's degree, you put it there. Now, this is not a place where you put personal trainings for certifications, all right? You could put trainings you have done, okay? You could put your degrees and every other qualifications you have achieved. Now, after putting all of that there, the next thing you have to talk about, if you have any certifications, it's time to put them in. You talk about your certifications. And after certifications, this may not be work related, but somehow your employers are interested to know what you do if you're not working. This is not them invading your privacy. They want to see if you have any common activity that they can relate with. And trust me, some people have gone for interviews and the interviewer ended up discussing their hobby or leisure activity rather than talk about the job, which gives those people an easy ride to getting that job. Let's get to the screen where I will show you a sample of the CV and I will talk you through everything in the CV. The first CV we'll be looking at is a CV of a project manager. I chose this purpose because I want this content to be relevant to anyone who watches it, irrespective of your area of expertise, irrespective of what you will be applying for. So I'm giving you one for project manager and one for healthcare assistant. So here you can see now, meet Johnny Doe. As you can see, the first information we have there is how you can contact Johnny Doe. And of course, you can also see Johnny Doe LinkedIn profile here. Those things are showing a little bit grayed out because I put them as header because I want them to appear on every page of the CV. You can choose to put them only on the first page, but I like my information to be on every page. So as you scroll down, you see them on the next page. So that is what I will be doing with this one here. So after you've seen Johnny's contact information, next thing you are seeing is Johnny's career summary, which I would like to rename as personal profile. Now, the personal profile portrays John Doe as a result-oriented project team leader with 5 years of experience covering projects and product management, including developing, implementing, and supporting complex infrastructure for fast-growing startups. A fast and eager learner, and is detailed-oriented and adapt to changing project requirements quickly to meet business goals. Now that tells you that John Doe has 5 years experience in this industry, okay? And these 5 years, this is what he has been doing. And these are the qualities that Johnny Doe have. Now, once you read that, the first thing as a recruiter, it whets your appetite. You want to know more about him. And that is why you'll be reading the other part of the CV. Now, immediately after that, Johnny Doe presents to us his experience, his professional experience. The experience you are putting here should be relevant to the job you are applying for. Except you can relate that experience to the job if it is not directly related to it. If you have a way of picking up something that can connect that experience to the job you're applying for, to the role you're applying for, then you shouldn't put it. So from 2022 to present, Johnny Doe was working as a senior IT project manager in a company called Current Company International, located in Swindon, UK. Now, underneath that, you need to have the description of your day-to-day activity. As a project manager, what are the things you do? You can get that from your direct activity or from the contract letter if it lists out those things. Now, there are some other things that you may be doing day-to-day that are not captured in your contract letter or where the job was advertised, in case you have a copy of that, which you can use to put in as the description of your job. That goes into the description of your job. Now, after that, you need to talk about achievement. Now, a lot of people don't understand achievement and why they should put it there. Listen, while doing your job in XYZ company, there are some milestones you achieved. Now, those milestones are very, very important to your career projection and to your progress in your role, in your next role. Because they want to know, apart from these normal things you do in your job every day, were there any key things you achieved while on that job? So let's see what Johnny Doe has to say. Now, Johnny Doe has to tell us that the first thing he did is that he accelerated outbound sales cycle by 330% by designing and implementing customer acquisition platforms for training and managing technical IT teams. Is that not interesting? If you are a recruiter, wouldn't you want to hear more about Johnny? I guess you would. Now, he goes on to tell us that he also established related strategic partnership with 6 out of 10 top state manufacturing companies, which resulted in 20 million additional revenue. He increased the company's revenue by $20 million. That is impressive. As a recruiter, you want to know more about it because look, the reason you are getting someone to fill a position is because you want to achieve certain things. Okay? There are qualities you want the person to come with, and those are the qualities you are looking at for in that CV before you can even think of inviting the person for interview. Because after all, not everyone that applies for a job deserves an interview. So having said that, he also went ahead to say he led re-architect effort of a core SaaS platform to reduce the platform deployment time for clients by 2 months. How beautiful is that? Maybe before now, it takes 8 months to do this, and he came in there and used it to 6 months. That is impressive, right? So he increased the company revenue, as you can see there. He accelerated outbound sales cycle by 330%, and then he actually reduced the time it takes for clients for client deployment by 2 months, which is impressive. As an employer, you want to have this kind of person in your team, and that's what your CV is supposed to do. It's supposed to tell the person, look, I am the right person you want to have in your team because I can do X, Y, Z, and I can do everything you have advertised for and even more. So let's go on. In his previous company, before this most recent one, the company called Most Recent Employer Limited, after his job description, he goes on to about his achievement. He said he led a team of developers to build a proprietary customer relation management system for enterprise and its strategic partners, optimizing sales processes and increasing sales revenue by 24%. So this guy is a go-getter. You don't need to put in the CV, I'm a go-getter. From his achievement, the employer and anyone reading it will tell you this guy is a go-getter. So that is what you should do. And I would advise you, if you are, for instance, a software developer and you're able to create this amazing software platform for your company that brought in a lot of customers or that is some processes, that should go into your achievement. If you're a procurement manager who came into a company and you saw that the procurement process was being elongated because of some bottlenecks and all of that, and it wasn't efficient, and you streamlined it, made it more efficient, and it reduced the time it takes for the process to complete, and ensure that either the right vendors are onboarded or the right contractors are given contract, all of those things. These are achievements that need to go into your CV, as you can see from this one. Now, these are the experience. If you have more than one experience, you can put it. If you have just one, it's still okay. You can put it there. So these are the experience, and immediately after experience, John Doe now gives us the technical and soft skills that have enabled him to achieve this goal, to achieve everything he has achieved in his previous roles. He has technical skills in Scrum, in product development, in Tabular, in SQL, and all of that. And just beside it, he talks about his soft skills. If you're a good communicator, you put it there. If you are flexible and ability to switch between tasks, you put it there. If you are a team player and able to work as individually, you put it there. If you can work with little or no supervision, you put it there. If you are able to meet deadlines, you put it there. So whatever technical soft skills you have, they go in there. Again, you should make sure you have read and understood the job description you are applying for, the person specification that are looking for, and then whatever you're writing here should reflect what is needed. Otherwise, no matter how beautiful your CV is formatted, you may still not get an invite for interview. And again, I want to advise, if you're writing your CV, avoid using passive words like managing, training, attending. Now, what you should be using, in place of managing, use the word managed. That's an action word. Use the word train, okay? Use the word developed instead of developing. You understand? Instead of saying partnering, use the word partnered, okay? So these are action words. The reason why I'm saying this is because if the CV is being reviewed by an individual, it is easy for him to understand what you're writing. But if it is being passed through a software, the software does not look for passive words. Most of the time, it looks for action words, all right? So the employer puts in there the things he is looking for in a CV. Now, those things are used, the CVs are checked against those things, and only the CVs that has those features, those things they're looking for, are brought out for the recruiter. After all, the recruiters receive many CVs for a particular position, and they don't have all the time in the world to go sit down and go through every single CV. So what they need to do is to reduce those CV to the ones that are closely connected to what they are looking for. And they do that by running those CVs through certain softwares. And again, we humans, our attention span is very little. So you have maybe 5 seconds to capture the recruiter attention. And that is why your career summary or personal profile, whatever you choose to call it, need to be catchy. It needs to whet the appetite of the recruiter and make him eager to know more about you. That is why your career summary comes at the top after your name. So this is a CV. After that, after the technical skills now, he talks about his education. He obtained a BSc in IT Project Management from University of Oxford, England in 2012. Okay? And then we go down a little bit, you see the professional trainings he has also done and certifications he had. Maybe you've had project management certification, you put it there. You have Scrum Master certification, you put it there. You've done Prince 2 and are certified, you put it there. So these are the things you need to capture in your CV. And this is how to format a CV. And lastly, you have your personal interest. Some people call it hobby. Now, that is where you talk about the things you enjoy doing when you're not working. But again, please don't be careless enough to put in things like partying, meeting with friends, and honestly, please put things that portray you as a serious-minded person who knows what he or she is doing. There have been instances where someone have gone for interview, and instead of him being interviewed based on the job specification and requirement, the interviewer ended up discussing the person's hobby. You love football. Wow, that's interesting. I love football too. I used to play for a local team back in my country or Sizzle place, and which team do you support? Oh, really? You support this team? Before you know it, they start talking about the sport. And before you know it, time is gone. And because they did not interview you, it is not your fault that I didn't go into what they're going to interview you. Most of the time, you don't get move to the second stage, or you actually get the job if they only have one stage of what interview they conduct for that position. First, it's important that your hobby or your activity bring in something that could attract the interest of your employer. Okay, if you're a sport person, maybe you like going hiking, you put it there. You like watching football, you play football, you put it there. If you like research as well, I personally like to put research and computing because that's some of the things I like doing when I'm not working. So put in things that actually will still, because you are in the process of selling yourself. So you need to make sure that whatever you're putting there makes meaning. Now, this is a CV for an IT project manager. You will agree with me that with this kind of a CV, if you are a recruiter, you will really want to meet this person, talk with this person with the hope of having this person over to your team. Now, let's look at a sample healthcare assistant CV. I'm going to be very fast with that one. I won't go through every detail because I've already discussed the components of a CV and how you should word your CV. So I'm going to show you a sample. If you have not had any meaningful achievement like we saw in that CV, it's not something you should be ashamed of. Put in what you do in your job. Just put your job description and be okay with that. But if you have achieved any milestone in your career, please put it. It is very, very important. As a matter of fact, your achievement is even more important than the description of your job. Because for instance, if in that CV that we saw, the dependent did not put the job description but only put achievement, trust me, the recruiter will still want to meet that person. So now let's see the example for healthcare assistant. This is the example of a healthcare assistant job profile. Now again, it was an error. This wasn't intentional. I didn't put a heading for this one. All right, you can put the career summary or personal profile. All right, then you go on to talk about your skills. Here, I don't put any skill. Now in healthcare assistant, mostly what they are looking for are soft skills because it's not a technical job, so you're not expected to have some technical skills. So you focus on your soft skills: patience, ability to manage situations, emotionally intelligent, compassionate. Those soft skills. Please again read the description of the job and you will know what to put in there. All right. So again, after that, you have experience here, what a person talks about, where a person works from when to when, what they do, their daily activities, job description of their job, and all of that. And then of course, education here, and you have training listed here. If you got value from this video, please do me a favor and like the video. Thank you very much for watching to the end. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so, and turn on the notification bell because I have a lot of content coming. I'll see you in the next video.